We're back at it with another player profile, this time Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Let's discuss on Fantasy Baseball. It's day in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. Today is Friday, February 24th. I am Frank Sample, joined by Scott White, and we've got another player profile for you. This one from Tim, who says, I don't understand the projections for Vlad Jr. 4 years in the pros, his OPS by year, 772, 792, 1002, and 818. What am I missing here? Isn't it more plausible he is just an 800 to 830 OPS player, and 2021 was just an outlier? Ooh. Scott, what do you think? What's your response?
I laugh at this contention. What you're missing is the concept of player development. Vladimir Guerrero is still now, as we're talking, 23 years old. He is but a babe. And most players at this age haven't even reached the majors yet. So I'd say he's doing pretty well to be where he is, and to it's understandable that he has improved like he has, and it'd be understandable if he continued to improve at the age he is. So I don't worry so much about that. Now, having said that, the 818 OPS he put up last year, it was a 32 homer, 818 OPS. So if you're saying Vladimir Guerrero is going to be closer to that again than 2021, I think most people would take that. But obviously there's the upside for more, and that's why he's being drafted as a borderline first rounder, because of what he showed us in 2021. So the biggest thing that went wrong for him that I can tell is just he put the ball on the ground a lot more. He had a career best, presuming we don't like ground balls, he had a career best 44.8% ground ball rate in 2021, according to Fangraphs. It jumped to 52.1% last year. And it's hard to produce even as much power as he did with a ground ball rate that high. Among players who had a ground ball rate of 50% or higher, only 2 had an ISO of 200 or higher. One was Vladimir Guerrero. The other was Michael Harris, for whatever that's worth. So it's almost a testament to Vladimir Guerrero's ability to impact the ball that he produced as much power he did with a ground ball rate that high. Seems like a simple adjustment, elevating the ball more, and one we've seen him make before. And so, I'm viewing 2022, the 274 batting average, the thirds, 2 home runs, the 818 OPS. I'm viewing that as kind of the low point for Vladimir Guerrero. Again, we'd take it. It's still good production. But if he blows out those numbers again and comes closer to 2021, I don't think it should be a surprise.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to that launch angle, Scott. If he can get the ball in the air, more line drives, more fly balls, as hard as Vlad hits the ball and has as much as he makes contact, then good things are really, really going to happen. We could get another 35, 40-plus home runs out of Vlad Jr. I know some people might bring up what happened in 2021 is the Blue Jays played at 3 different ballparks. 2 of them were minor league parks, Salem Field and TD Ballpark, where Vlad had a 762 and 897 slugging percentage, respectively, at each of those parks. So maybe that's an outlier season. I don't want to put a cap on him because he's 23 years old, but wouldn't surprise me if that turns out to be like the career year for Vlad. I'd expect something in between. Maybe he's a 900 OPS bat with 35 to 40 home runs, and that's still a really, really great player. With all that being said, Scott, who would you rather draft, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Freddie Freeman? I know the answer for you is probably neither. But if you wanted to choose one, which one would it be?
Yeah, at that range of the draft, I'm taking a third baseman instead. But I do rank Freddie Freeman higher. I think his contributions are just underappreciated in general. He was the number 3 player according to CBS's rotisserie rating formula last year. And that was hitting 21 home runs, the fewest he had hit in years. A bad power season for Freddie Freeman still made him the 3rd best player in rotisserie leagues because he's going to hit for a very high average. He's going to score a ton of runs in that lineup. He's probably going to be one of the better base stealers at first base, which isn't saying much, but particularly because the stolen base environment's going to improve. I could see him giving a dozen steals again. I think it was 13 last year, a career high. I could see him giving another dozen, and that's a lot more than Vladimir Guerrero got to 8 last year, but I'd be surprised if he got to that many again because he's not a fast runner. So, yeah, I'll give Freddie Freeman a slight edge there over Vladimir Guerrero. Guerrero does have more upside. I certainly understand why people are targeting him instead, but I slightly prefer Freeman.
It is super close, Scott, but I think I'm with you. I've got Freddie Freeman just a hair ahead of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. this season as well. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Audacy app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.